Baruch Hashem, welcome to my home again. This is very unique Torah Watchman edition here. It's about what's good for your health in a COVID pandemic. I've had several friends and classmates. Yeah, this is ben-Emmett, Torah Watchman Show. You can find me on YouTube. Please click subscribe and link for personal notify. I'm not talking about the Torah per se, but I'm talking as a religious Jew, as an Orthodox Jew with an Hasidic touch, living in an era. I'm an IT person, a man of science. I have several degrees, up to graduate level degrees in science, a master's in science, clinical studies, healthcare, technology, all these things. So I understand microbiology. I understand the difference between a virus and a bacterial organism. A virus is kind of plant-based, RNA in its molecule, in its chromosomal structure, and bacteria are more like us. They have DNA. But anyway, long story short, I don't want to keep this too long-winded. I had a personal friend today, a classmate of mine, and he asked me about what I'm doing, what my approach is, and wearing masks. I told him in the state of Virginia, our governor here, a very liberal governor here, has mandated an extension of an executive order that everyone, even in your private office space, surrounded by plexiglass in many cases, or hospital curtains, you still have to wear a mask just sitting there at your desk. On the side of caution, we do things. I consider it a form of patriotism. We're doing things because some people are very, very afraid of this, and reasonably so. They high risk. They are prone to get pneumonia-like infections and things of that nature. It makes people feel safe, and for a Jew like me, I'm all about people feeling welcome in the environment around me and not being in a hostile workplace. But anyway, let's start with masks, okay? A lot of things I've learned this since the pandemic broke out roughly last March. The World Health Organization announced that, the coronavirus is more than what we said it was. Dr. Fauci corrected himself 1,000 times. But anyway, this is a mask. This is a 3-ply mask. When I ordered it, it's nothing really. It's made out of antibacterial fabric. Most fabric is antibacterial these days when it's for health purposes like this. The company here, I'm not promoting products, but it's called SafeMate. Has a little medical cross on there per se. If you can see this here. But anyway, you can order this on Amazon. The benefit of having this mask is this cloth is washable, machine washable, and it has a pouch, okay? You see here? So this is a 2-ply mask. What makes it 3 plies when you put something in this pouch, like a sanitary type of paper or filter or something like that, but you throw it away after you sneeze or cough or whatever. Important thing to remember about any kind of mask, that's not disposable, especially cloth. You have to keep it clean. You have to wash it on a regular basis. Unless I have a cold or nasal congestion or coughing and sneezing, I'll tell you the truth. I probably don't change out this mask maybe at the end of the week, probably but more times, twice a week or whatever. I clean it. But let me get into where I'm talking, the discussion here. It's about copper. Copper is a metal like gold and silver and zinc, okay? What a lot of people are realizing now, even in the 21st century, is the benefits. The value-added statement of elevating your quality of your life, where copper has been around for 8,000 years, supposedly. The Phoenicians were using it. Egyptians were using it. They were discovering the purposes, the benefits of it, for warding off disease and infection, all this. You may not believe this, but penicillin wasn't actually discovered and used for healthcare until 1928. So that's why so many people died in around World War One time frame with this Spanish flu. 300 million people died worldwide, and most of these people died from bacteria-based pneumonia infections, secondary problems after catching the flu. So the flu didn't deliberately kill them. What killed them was pneumonia, respiratory illness, and things like that. They did not have penicillin. What they did have in that time, it was popular in the 1700s, 1800s, coppersmiths, even before that, Middle Ages maybe. Coppersmiths, what they found out, if you were smithing copper and using metallurgists and people like that were maybe for piping and things like that nature, other things that you use copper for, they had copper powder on their hands, or even in their mouth and the beard and things like this. And they discovered that this gave them a natural protection against viruses and even bacterial organisms in Europe. So these people had less fatality rates by what they were doing in their work environment. Very fascinating, right? Now, why does copper work the way it does? Now, I ordered a roll of copper. You can get it at a hardware store. You can get it on anywhere. It's about 100% recycled these days. There's not much of it left in the Earth's crust. But I've ordered it from Amazon. I'm not promoting Amazon over the company, but I'm saying that's where I get it. But anyway, this is copper. And what you can notice here, I use a Gorilla Glue, silicone, because this is wire, and when you have it close to your mouth, it's uncomfortable. So what I did for that area of the copper that come close to your mouth, I put silicone around the edges so it makes it soft, right? But anyway, just by me touching this copper, everything that's bacteria or viral on my fingers, if I didn't wash my hands correctly or whatever, it is in process of dying right now. I'm just by touching. How does that work? Well, understand, copper is very unique from gold and silver and other metals. Copper actually has a free electron, and it's electron covalent shells. I don't want to get into chemistry and all this too much. But anyway, an atom is considered pretty much as a negative ion. It is considered as an oxidation grenade. Yes, and it's you hear about free radicals and things of that nature. Well, consider the SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19 virus that we hate so much. Well, what happens when copper comes in contact with that it immediately starts ripping apart the molecule, the cell membrane, all that cell. It starts breaking down the RNA and its ability essentially to reproduce or to infect you. Yes, essentially, it is remarkable. Back in Europe, during the Middle Ages, in that time, people used copper for almost anything. Now we use PVC pipe for piping, all that, so we don't interact with copper as much as we used to. Well, I told my wife if I replace my sink, for instance, faucet or the drain, I'm going to replace that copper. I have a copper cylinder that I put my umbrellas in, and I touch it, put umbrellas. Anyway, back to mask. What I do, I told you I put silicone around the edges here, okay, to make it more comfortable. And I simply slide it into the pouch of my mask. You see here's a little pouch. And like I said, these masks are popular. This style, back when the epidemic hit early last year, you couldn't get a mask. Much less an N95 CDC recommended mask. There's a lot of masks that are not even recommended by the CDC. Okay, I'm not gonna be pro or con about wearing masks, but if I wear a mask, I want to wear it for scientific reasons, science-based, not just by covering my mouth here. Okay, because when you cover your mouth with anything like this, it creates a moisture barrier, and a warm moisture there will attract and promote the growth of bacteria. There's actually people I've heard that actually call Legionnaire's disease and other weird bacterial diseases like this from not changing out their mask as often. Now, I told you before, I change out my mask as often as I can. My righteous wife washes them for me. But also, I use disinfectant sprays like this. I'm not promoting this. This kills more than 99% of all bacteria and viruses. So, this mask here, if I want extra protection, and I'm unlike Trump, I don't drink Lysol. But what I'm saying, I spray it, and this kills the bacteria and the viruses this more effectively than putting it in my wash machine. It's science. You don't believe it, read the labels on this, okay? Don't shoot the messenger. So what I've now created, make sure you put the mask on correctly, because sometimes I put it upside down early in the morning. I'm half asleep, so the nose and all this. And of course, with me having a beard, I want to make sure that my beard is clean. And please don't laugh at me, but this, I have a Lysol wipe here, and I've told friends at work about this that have beards and things like that. And during the day, I have Lysol wipes at work. I just wipe my beard here. I don't breathe it in or anything like that. Just wipe my beard off. And what I'm doing, I'm killing bacteria and viruses on my face that could possibly grow during the work time, 8 or 9, 10 hours at work, underneath this mat. So if you use an aggregate approach to methodology and procedures for living healthy and well, if you have to wear a mask, wear it scientifically based so it actually help you. Just putting a mask over your face does not necessarily protect you from catching a virus. Okay, I'm sorry, it just doesn't. I just use common sense for this. But if you wear a mask, it's really neat to put copper inside the pouch here, because it's proven, medical science. There's a research study in Southampton, England recently. I read it in a Smithsonian scientific journal, and they released this study. It is remarkable because they did studies for COVID-19, how long it would survive on glass, stainless steel, metals, and like a gas pump and stuff like that. You touch all of that. I take alcohol soap in my car everywhere I go. So anyway. But anyway, they did a research study, and again, copper is unique as an atom on the periodic table of the elements. It's unique in that its covalent bands, electron shell, and things like that nature, it's missing an electron. So that means that oxygen is attracted almost like a magnet to anything that has oxygen. Like I said, is known as an oxidation grenade, and it will destroy viruses. And the most resistant type of bacteria, like Legionnaire's disease, MRSA, others, even H1N1 viruses, anything you could think of that's highly resistant to antibiotics, it kills them, it wipes them out. And this has been done in scientific laboratories by microbiologists that are smarter and more well paid than I am. Anyway, this is ben-Emmett having a lot of fun with you. Listen, I'm a religious Jew, so I pray about everything I do. I might say Baruch Atah Adonai Elohim Melech Haolam. I may say Refuah Hashem, whatever. Refuah means please heal me, get well. We say that when people are sick. So I bless everything I use for me for my health. Okay. I also use this here early in the morning to wash my hands. It's a very ancient tradition for Jews. It's known as Natalat Yadayim. Essentially, I fill this with tap water, and then I rinse my hands up to my wrist or forearm or whatever, both hands back and forth 3 times, and I ask God to cleanse my hands, to cleanse my soul, to cleanse my body, to begin the next day. Listen, what I'm saying is, think before you lead. And stop and think about what you do, and do things logically and scientifically, not based out of irrationality and fear and emotion. But anyway, God love you. God bless you. ben-Emmett signing out. Torah Watchman. I hope it's been beneficial for you. Again, a simple mask, a cloth mask, a machine washable, made out of antibacterial fabric. Is 2-ply, and then it has a pouch. You put copper in it, it actually becomes 3-ply, and that's actually recommended by the CDC. I'm not Dr. Falsey, but I'm giving you information that's based in real science and not based on emotionalism. So God bless you. My name's ben-Emmett. By my name, I could tell you nothing but the truth. Take care. Signing out. Shalom Aleichem.